If you're a songwriter or a musician, well, I've got some pretty big news for you, and it kind of involves Taylor Swift. We're going to be talking about three things in this video: Spotify, record labels, and why songwriters are in trouble. So first, let's catch you up to speed. In 2019, this guy named Scooter Braun bought Taylor Swift's entire catalog for like $300 million. It was a weird deal because her dad was like on the board and he wasn't able to tell her that the deal was even happening. So definitely left a bad taste in her mouth. And fast forward a year later, Scooter actually tries to sell her masters to her, and she doesn't do it because she finds out that she would have to keep paying him royalties for her music. And she wasn't having that. So she basically said, no, I'm going to re-record my entire catalog and screw you. That's what she did. That's what she did. And as you've seen, she's killing it right now. The joke's on Scooter. She just became a billionaire because of all this. She re-recorded everything, does some massive Eras tour, does the movie, I mean, everything. You've probably seen Taylor Swift like every day at this point. Heck, you watch the NFL, you've seen Taylor Swift. It's kind of crazy right now. But that's just kind of some backstory to kind of lead into what's happening because of her success. And it involves record labels. Here's the problem. Taylor Swift has shaken things up a few times before. No pun intended, but if you all remember, she pulled all of her music from streaming services at one point. It was her act of defiance in the companies that were profiting off of her. She clearly has a big issue with people profiting off of her too much. And so that leads me to what's been in the news lately, and it's that record labels are changing their contracts because of Taylor Swift's success. Apparently in record contracts, they have some clauses that prohibit you from re-recording your music for about 5 to 7 years, you know, something more realistic, right? It's been some time, you know, they've made some money, you've made some money, hopefully, and that'll give you some options later down the road for, you know, your future as a musician, your future in making money off of the thing that you created. So their bright idea, get this bright idea. We're going to make you wait 15 years to re-record your music. You heard that right, folks. We're going to wait 15 years to do a Taylor Swift, to re-record everything. And that is just mind-blowing to me. Like, I can't even fathom waiting that long to then even attempt to regain control of my music. I mean, that's insanity, but that's the thing we're seeing. And frankly, that's just one thing that record labels are trying to do in an attempt to get more money. I mean, something that happened in the early days before streaming was that people didn't realize the money that would come from streaming. So a lot of artists would sign deals that didn't factor in those kinds of things. And fast forward 10 years, they're starting to get screwed. They're not making money off of streams because CDs aren't selling anymore. And it's just this whole debacle right now. And that's just one thing that's happened, sadly. Now, let's fast forward a little bit to today. Let's talk about Spotify again, right? Big ol' streaming service, Spotify, right? Spotify is probably one of the leading sources for music these days. It's where people go. I mean, there's that, Apple Music. I don't even know if people really listen to Tidal at this point, but those are, you know, the main services. I don't know if you know this, Spotify is actually not a very profitable company. They've actually failed to meet profits like year after year. But you look at it and you're like, all right, well, what are they trying to do to fix those things? Well, I'll tell you what, Spotify has a new plan. And if you like this type of content and you want to hear more stuff like this, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and it helps the channel. So let's get back to it. So let's touch on Spotify now. They recently, finally, after like two years or so, made a profit. And it's not like they're breaking records here or anything, like they're just skating by. And so you think to yourself, well, what is a company like Spotify to do, right? I mean, you've got people like Taylor Swift pulling their music, putting it back, and you've got people complaining about the really low pay rate of like fractions of a cent. Well, I'll tell you what they're not going to do. They're not going to cut their humongous salaries. I'm talking like 100K plus a year. they're definitely not going to get rid of employees because, hey, why do that, right? Unless they haven't told us. So that leaves you to wonder, how can Spotify make more money? How can they start losing less money? Well, they've got a bright idea. Item number 2, listen to this. They're going to create a threshold of plays that you need to meet before you can even get paid that fraction of a cent. Yeah, play that back, rewind that if you need to, hit the little, 10-second button back. Spotify is now not going to pay you unless you hit a certain amount of plays. And they say it's to stop scams and stop people that just like upload noise and just get paid off that. But in my opinion, that's on Spotify. Find those people, fight them. Why are you going to punish every musician that uploads music because some people found a way to abuse your system? It's kind of messed up. And that's just another example of companies, record labels, all these people just taking and taking and taking, but they're not giving back anything. Spotify, in my opinion, doesn't do enough to help artists. They have tried to, do curated playlists, but even then, that's a whole monopoly. That's a monster of a thing to get into itself. And so you just kind of wonder, you're like, why are they going after the locals, the people like me, the people like you, the people that are in their garage just trying to start a band? Why is it that they're the ones that get punished? And yeah, I'd like to tell you that things get better, but guys, it gets worse. Yeah, there's a third thing I need to talk about, and it involves songwriters. It involves your royalties, publishing, splits, all that. So BMI, which is a performing rights organization like ASCAP, is a company that these companies basically are responsible for collecting your royalties. If it gets played, you get paid, in theory, because they too are a for-profit company. Like they need to make money too. And apparently BMI has a 10% commission rate that they basically get 10% taken off the top, and then they pay everyone their splits. Well, I haven't really been seeing anyone talk about this, but I've seen some articles, guys. They're going to raise this commission rate to 15%, which means 5% more is going to get skimmed off the top before it even gets to your pocket. Yep, that's right. We're going to make less money, even less money. So basically, you've got the record labels trying to screw you from even having rights to your music more than they already do. And then you've got Spotify trying to screw you because they don't know how to manage their business. And now you've got the performing rights organizations saying, hey, we need to make more money too. We're going to take it from you guys. I'm blown away. Like I had to rush to just set all this up because I just wanted to get this out there. I don't think enough people are talking about this. I don't think anyone's researching this. I don't even think anyone knows about this. These are articles that I've kind of seen that just passed by and no one's talking about them. And it just kind of blows me away because you see all this stuff about Taylor Swift and you're like, yeah, that's cool, but I can't help but think that she's kind of causing some of these issues, like wherever the money goes, things start happening. And with people seeing the money that she's making, obviously these companies are trying to switch it up. They're trying to say, well, how do we get a piece of that? I want a piece of that, and you're kind of seeing it with all these other organizations, and it just has me at a loss. I would love to say there's a silver lining to this video, to this story, but in reality, I guess the silver lining is just maybe it's time to go independent. Maybe it's time more than ever to find a way to be self-sufficient as a musician, as a songwriter. And I think that's possible. I think it's a little bit more work. It definitely requires more of you as a person, as an artist, and it does require us to put on a lot of different hats. But in theory, you can build a team. You can find the people so that you don't have to do these deals. You don't have to sign these deals with the devil. In reality, you could book your own shows these days. You could market yourself to the entire world with the internet, which is incredible. You couldn't do that before. That's why these record labels are scared. It's because they know they're losing control. They're losing power, and they're realizing that they need to do something. And that's where we, the people, need to realize we can start doing things too. We can start booking our own shows. We can do stuff too. We can start taking control back and getting the money that we deserve for the stuff that we do. How many other types of artists get screwed like this, and we just take it. We just take it, and it sucks. So I hope with this video, I can really inspire you to want to maybe do some more on your own and figure out what you can do on your own to avoid these pitfalls and avoid these traps. I mean, imagine getting trapped into a contract for 15 years. I mean, your band's over at that point. You know, if things don't work out, your band is over. That whole portion of your life is just over. And it's a sad thing that we've seen in the industry. I mean, this is only one type of deal that's occurring. This is only one type of situation. I mean, before it was CDs, before it was vinyl, before it was merch, before it was crazy loans that the labels give you, advances. And I guess the times are just changing. The methods are changing. So with this, I really just want to ask you all, please leave a comment. Let me know down below what you think. Are you worried? Are you concerned? I mean, is this something that makes you want to give up? Because I hope not. I really don't want anyone to be discouraged from doing what they love. If anything, I want to help prepare you all and just inform you all that there's some bad people out there that don't care as much as they should. So stay strong out there, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.